So you're in high school and you want to have a fashion career. I made this video just for you. I had the privilege of being a high school fashion marketing teacher for over 10 years, and I realized that most high schoolers will not have an opportunity to take a class like the one that I taught. So I decided to put together this video in order to provide a few tips for you that will help you get on the path towards having a fashion career while you're still in high school. I'm going to share with you 3 things I want you to remember and 3 action steps that you can take starting right now. Okay, let's talk about the 3 key things to remember. The first thing I want you to remember is to not let anyone discourage you from pursuing a career in fashion if this is something that you really want to do. The truth of the matter is most people have a very limited perspective of all the opportunities that the fashion industry can present. When most people think about a fashion career, they think about retail, they think about buyer, fashion designer, merchandiser, boutique owner. But there are so many other things that exist within the fashion industry for the creative-minded person and the non-creative type of person. There are accountants and finance jobs, there are marketing jobs, public relations, web developers, graphic designers, fashion photographers, supply chain managers, data analysts. There are so many things that you can do within the industry. So don't let someone discourage you who has a limited perspective of all that it has to offer. The second thing I want you to remember is that there are really kind people out here who are willing to help you. Believe in the kindness of people. When I was teaching, I would take my students to New York, and on those field trips, we were able to visit the corporate offices of places like Versace, Ralph Lauren, Tommy Hilfiger, Victoria's Secret, Kate Spade, Nordstrom, Macy's. And the reason we were able to do those things and get the behind the scenes look was simply because I asked. In the beginning, I didn't have connections and relationships like that. So I would just simply introduce myself and share a little bit about what I teach and tell them a little bit about my students and ask, hey, can we come visit your office? Will you take us around? Will you share your story of how you got to where you are and what you're doing? And people were always so enthusiastic about it and almost always said yes. And so I want you to believe in the kindness of people, because there are people who would love to take a high school student and just spend a little time with you and just hear your goals and allow you to ask them questions and to pick their brain. There are tons of people out there, so believe in the kindness of people. The last thing I want you to remember, which is the most important one of them all, is that you don't have to have this all figured out by the time you graduate from high school or the time you graduate from college. Like, you don't have to have this whole plan laid out. The goal is to just keep taking steps, day after day, month after month, just taking steps, having experiences and learning along the way and enjoying the journey. Chances are you're gonna have many different jobs or many different roles you're gonna play within a company, many different things you're gonna do. And so take the pressure off of yourself. You don't have to have this all figured out. Enjoy the process of discovery within this journey. Okay, so now that we've talked about the 3 things I want you to remember, let's talk about 3 action steps that you can take starting today. The first thing that I want you to do is to educate yourself. Become a student of fashion. Figure out how you can learn as much as possible on a consistent basis. No, you may not have a fashion marketing class in your school, but you can still take ownership of the learning process for yourself. So you should be reading books about fashion, you should be reading blog posts about fashion, you should be checking into Women's Wear Daily online. You could be listening to the Business of Fashion podcast or other fashion podcasts, looking at magazines, soaking in information as much as you can so that you understand a lot about the industry. There is a difference between someone who really knows fashion and somebody who knows style. Lots of people I meet know style, like they know how to dress, they know how to put together outfits and things like that. But the person who knows fashion understands the industry, the ins and outs, and how it works, and who are the major players and things of that nature. So decide who you want to be. Is it a person who's into style or a person who's like really truly into fashion? And if you really truly want to be into fashion, you got to educate yourself. The second thing that I want you to do is to leverage your social media platforms in order to make connections. We're already on social media, so why not use social media as a way to help you achieve your goals? Use it to make connections. Follow fashion companies, follow fashion industry people, follow fashion colleges. Now, you don't have to go to a fashion college in order to have a fashion career later, but it would be a nice idea to follow a few of the schools and see what type of events they're having and some of the things their students are into, just to give you more information. That's also a part of the education piece. So leverage your social media in order to make connections with people. Also, if you have foolishness on your social media accounts, you want to get that stuff out of there. Do not have foolishness on your pages, even if your page is private. You don't want to have any foolishness in your space online. So make sure you clean that up if you need to, but you want to leverage social media for good. The last action step that I want you to take is to start gaining experience. Now, I will tell you that most internships, the majority of internships, are looking for college students because they're looking for people they can hire once those internships are over. So there are not a lot of internships for high school students, but there are some things that you can do. For example, you can create your own internship. You can talk to a small business owner who works in fashion and write up an internship program where you will work with them and you will learn and you will gain information. And many small business owners would love to have someone come in and help. They may not be able to pay you, but the knowledge that you'll be getting will be super valuable. There's also the Nordstrom Ambassadors Program, which is for high school juniors and seniors. The new school, Parsons in Paris, they have online fashion courses for students who are 13 years old and above. So that's online. You can do that from wherever you are. The Fashion Institute of Technology in New York City, they have summer programs, summer workshops for high school students. LIM College, also in New York City, has a summer fashion lab that you can attend where you will learn some things about the industry, some of the insider things. And so there are opportunities out there if you seek them, and you may also have to create some opportunities for yourself. But the fashion industry is very competitive, like many industries. So the more experience you can start gaining, the earlier you can start gaining that experience, the better it's going to be to help build up your resume. Okay, so you know I was a teacher. Let's have a review session. The 3 key things we are going to remember. Number 1, we're not gonna let anyone discourage us from pursuing a career in fashion if that's something we really, really wanna do. Number 2, we are going to believe in the kindness of people, and remember there are people out there who are willing to help us achieve our goals. And number 3, we're gonna remember we don't have to have it all figured out. We're gonna take that pressure off of ourselves, relax, breathe a little, and enjoy the process as much as we can. Our action steps, we are going to, 1, educate ourselves. We're gonna take in information as often as we can, as much as we can. Number 2, we're gonna leverage our social media platforms in order to make connections with people and companies and things of that nature. And number 3, we are going to start gaining experience in whatever ways that we can. We're going to figure out how we can start adding to the resume and start getting some experience. I hope that something I said in this video was helpful to you. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me via email. I would love to help you in whatever way that I can. Take care.